The Witching Hour. Aunt Belle moved through the room like a woman who had learned long ago how to hold grief and grace in the same hand. She told stories to the guests about mother's laughter and kindness, the kind of stories that make the dead feel present for just a moment longer. I watched her from across the room, feeling the weight of absence, but warmed somehow by the memories floating through the air.
Are you all right, my dear?
Do you know anything about what happened to my father?
I never thought I'd lose your mother. These books all belonged to your father. Your grandparents only spoke Creole French, and they loved listening to his voice. I wish I could hear his voice again.
Aunt Belle took my arm gently and led me away from the guests, down the hall and into the library. The door closed behind us like a held breath.
He made enemies, child. Powerful Cajun man saw his intelligence as a threat. Your father was a brilliant man who understood ideas that others did not.
She paused, choosing her words the way a surgeon chooses an instrument, carefully, with full knowledge of the damage that could follow. Your parents' world was a dance of diplomacy and deception. A wrong step could lead to ruin.
Listen to me, Che. The key to unlocking the mysteries of your father's disappearance lies in this home.
From somewhere within the books, Aunt Belle produced a wooden box. She opened the box on the table and held its contents out toward me. A faded, blood-stained handkerchief, his initials pressed into the linen like a signature the world was never meant to see.
This was your father's. Your mother gave it to me a week after Sarah's wedding. He vanished that night, leaving only questions and heartache for our family. Bon venez-vous.
Thank you for sharing this with me. I will do everything in my power to uncover the truth about my father's past. Gregory escorted Aunt Belle and her daughters to their carriage. I stood in the doorway and watched them disappear into the darkness, the moon casting its eerie glow across the landscape. The handkerchief was still warm in my hand. I wondered if I had found the key to our family's long unsolved mysteries. While the house slept, while we all slept, something else was awake. Deep in the bayou, where the cypress trees grow so thick they swallow the moonlight whole, Mr. Johnson stirred. He was not a man easily explained. The people of the parish knew his name the way they knew a storm, by what it left behind. He lived where the road stopped and the water began, in a place no one visited without good reason, and no one left without being changed. That night the spirits did not whisper. They commanded. He rose without hesitation, gathered what he needed, herbs, bone dust, a small pouch worn smooth from years of use, and began the long walk out of the deep, through the black water, through the hanging moss, through the thick, breathless dark that presses against a man like a living thing. He walked all night. By the time the witching hour stretched its longest shadow across the land, Mr. Johnson had arrived at the Baudelaire plantation. The iron gate stood open. The house loomed large and silent against the purple-black sky, the windows dark except for a single candle burning in the front parlor, where Mother lay. Gregory answered the door. He was a man not easily unsettled. Years of service in this house had given him a steadiness that most men envied. But when he opened that door and found Mr. Johnson standing in the dark, the stillness in his face cracked just slightly. He stepped aside without a word. Some thresholds you do not argue with. Mr. Johnson moved through the parlor like a man who had been in the presence of the dead many times and owed them a kind of respect no one else understood. He stopped at the casket and looked down at Mary Baudelaire, still, beautiful, composed even in death, her hands folded as if she had simply chosen to rest. He began.
Mary Baudelaire, you made me a promise that you did not keep. You asked me to protect you, and in exchange, I would have the Amulet of Darkness. I know how powerful your bloodline is. I understand we had an agreement. My ancestors will go to war with yours, as promised. I need you to give me the amulet. You will not rest in your beauty and your social standing. You will come back bound in your curse, and your children will continue to die in slow torture until I receive what is mine.
His lips moved in low incantations, words older than the parish, older than the roads that ran through it. His hands moved slowly over the casket, not touching, hovering, as if drawing something up from the wood itself. The candle flame bent sideways without wind. Gregory had remained in the doorway. He had seen things in this house over the years, things no man of good sense spoke aloud. But what he saw next turned the blood in his veins to cold water. Mr. Johnson stopped. He had felt it, the presence of eyes. He turned slowly and found Gregory watching him from the threshold, frozen, unable to move and unable to look away. In one swift motion, Mr. Johnson reached into the pouch at his side and blew a fine gray dust directly into Gregory's eyes. Gregory's body went slack. He slumped against the doorframe, his eyes open but seeing nothing, suspended somewhere between waking and sleep, held there by something older than prayer. Mr. Johnson turned back to the casket. He leaned over the body of Mary Baudelaire, his face close, his voice a low and deliberate current of sound. The room breathed, and then she appeared. Mary Baudelaire stood beside her own casket, luminous and still, draped in the same gown she wore in death. Her eyes were open and calm. She did not tremble. She did not reach for him. She simply stood, the way a woman stands who has already decided everything. She did not flinch.
Bas-moi l'amulette. Read exactly. Your children will suffer for your bargain, Mary. I will return in 3 sunrises from tonight.
Mary's ghost held his gaze without wavering. Her silence was its own answer, and it was not the one he wanted. Mr. Johnson straightened slowly. He studied her face, reading something there that only he could see.
No, 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 no. You will not play ignorant with me, Gregoire. I have walked these roads longer than your father's father. I have seen things in this bayou that would make a grown man weep into his hands. You think l'Amulet does not call to me? It calls, boy. Every night it calls. You will be my eyes in this home. You will watch, you will listen, and when the time comes, quand le moment vient, you will bring it to me. Until I receive it, you will not sleep easy. You will not rest, because I will know. Mo toujours connaît. Grégoire, mo connaît tout ce que tu caches. Don't give me that face, boy. The amulet, l'amulette. I know it is in this house. I know who carried it in, and I know you have seen it.
He did not say goodbye. He simply turned, settled his coat across his shoulders, and walked out through the front door without looking back. The night swallowed him whole. No lantern, no carriage, just the old man and the dark road that wound back toward the bayou. I watched from the top of the stairs until his silhouette disappeared into the moss and shadow, and I understood in that moment that the amulet was not a relic. It was a claim, and Mr. Johnson intended to collect.